Remember, remember, the 5th of November, gunpowder, treason and plot. I see no reason why gunpowder, treason, should ever be forgot. That's right, my friends. This week is Guy Fawkes. And in the Matt's kitchen, we're making baked potatoes. Okay, welcome back to the kitchen, little foodies. Have you washed your hands and got an apron? Found somewhere clear to work? That's always important. And you want somewhere that's the right height. So you could go to a kitchen table or something like that. Just remember, if you're out of the kitchen, make sure you don't make a mess. Oh, yes, if you are in the kitchen, you could get a little something to stand on. And that reminds me, I wanted to show you this thing. This is actually my mum's. It's a little stool that folds down. And something like this, I think, would work really well for you to stand on. And let me try it out. Oh yeah, that's pretty good. That's much better. I can see, get a nice view of what I'm doing. Can't really reach though, can I? Oh well, maybe not for me. I'll put some links in the description below so you can go and check those out later. Right, great. So what kit do we need for our baked potatoes for bonfire night? For the basics, we've got a board, skewers, knife and fork, some tongs, helpful. I've always got my trusty non-slip mat. That's it. Oh wait, oh no, peeler. Don't need a peeler. They're baked potatoes. We don't peel them, we just wash them. So, don't need that. Now for toppings, there's all sorts of other things. Depending on what you do, I'm going to use the bowl for the tuna and for herbs. I need a couple of saucepans to heat up the chili and the beans. And you might need a grater. If you're grating cheese, mine's already grated. A tin opener, depending on the tins you're using. Spoon it's always useful to have spoons around the kitchen. This is a type of measuring spoon, so that can be handy when you're talking something specific. Oh, and I wanted to show you this too. So, scissors? No, not just any old scissors. These are multiple. Look at that. They've got multiple blades to them. You'll find out a bit later what that's for, but it's not an essential anyway. And then another type of knife, whatever works for you. Brilliant. And okay, so ingredients for our bonfire night baked potatoes. Potatoes, of course, I will talk about those in a second. The rest really is up to you because it depends on what you like as far as toppings go. Now what I have here is I've got the chili we made last week. I had it in the freezer, I've taken that out. Sour cream, if you like sour cream, there's cheddar cheese. Some people like beans. Now, baked beans for our American audience, this is not the same as the baked beans that you have in America, so don't get confused. That said, maybe you like to have American baked beans on your baked potatoes, if you're weird. And then we've got tuna and corn, which we're going to mix with some mayonnaise. And I've got some homemade mayonnaise here, which I made before. Actually, I'll make another video on mayonnaise, and so I'll put a link in the description below. Or keep an eye out, subscribe, and then you'll get a notification that that mayonnaise video is online. So great. Oh, I didn't mention olive oil and salt, which we're going to put on the potatoes. Bunch all this over here. Potato. Let's call the whole thing off. We've got some different potatoes here. I just wanted to show you. In England, the best kind of potato for roasting is going to be a Maris Piper or King Edward. So they're a bit like this. You've got these red ones as well. In America, they call them russet or red. Both of those are really good for baking. And you can, of course, use a sweet potato. Some people prefer that. It's a bit unorthodox, personally, but there you go. So you can use any of those. We're going to go with the Maris Piper, or actually I think it's a French equivalent. What was the French one? Agata. There you go, if you're in France. Agata, that's what we're using. Great. So, the thing to do first is wash the spuds. That's it, we want to give them a really good scrub. Sometimes potatoes are very, very dirty. Guys, don't forget to preheat the oven so that it warms up while we get everything else ready. So for the potatoes, we needed about 200 degrees Celsius. That's 390 Fahrenheit. Now you might want a grown up to give you a hand with that. Let's give them a really good dry. Oh, look at that. It looks a bit like a paw. Give them a really good dry. Now we're not going to peel these today. The skin stays on and it'll get nice and brown and crispy. It's very, very easy. The oven's warming up. We'll get some oil onto the potatoes like this. Now keep your paper towel nearby because we're going to get our hands all over them. Just rub that oil nicely all over, and then you want to sprinkle sea salt all over them so that the salt sticks to the oil. And then as they cook, the flavour of the salt goes into the potato. So plenty of salt all over them. You do tend to make a bit of a mess. There we go. Right, now the next thing is to get your skewers. Now you could just put them in the oven just like that, or on a baking tray, but I find what works best is if you put some skewers on. Now you've got to be really careful with your fingers when you do this, because you want to make sure your fingers are out of the way, and then you carefully skewer them right down the middle like that. And then we can put another one on there too. And it just makes them easier too to take in and out of the oven. There we go, 1, 2, and we'll put some more on here. Then you want to grab your fork and just give them a little prick all over, like that. Prick all over, okay, and then they're going to go into the oven that we've preheated to 190 degrees. That's about 390 degrees Fahrenheit for an hour.
See you in an hour.
Okay, while those are baking in the oven, we can crack on with our toppings. Oh, and we need to clean up this mess.
And get this oil off our hands, so grab some paper towel.
Okay, first we're going to start by warming up the chili. That will take a little bit longer than the beans, and it's good to let it simmer for a little bit. So I'm going to grab a medium saucepan here. Now this needs to be defrosted. Get it out in the morning from the freezer. Plenty of time before doing it. Lid on, and then that's going to go onto medium heat over there. Then we've got the beans. So now you might need a tin opener depending on the brand, but this actually has a pull tin like most tins these days. Now just because it's got a pull tin, you still got to be really, really careful, because this along here is very sharp. So you've got to be really careful with these. So put that in the bin already, and then do the same thing here with your beans. So put a stir and then into the saucepan. Those go on a medium heat as well. And then we're going to do the tuna mayo, right, and the sweet corn. So again, be careful with those tins. Let's take that off, and we're also going to drain the tuna. So best way to do that is if you just keep the lid and then push it on there, and then just, I'll show you here, look, you can push that down and then all the water comes out. You don't really want all that water like that. There we go, that's nice and dry. And we can do the same thing with the sweet corn. In fact, if you just open it a little bit, any water that's in there comes out. You can open it all the rest of the way. Being really, really careful. You might want to ask a grown-up to help you with that bit. Okay, let's move this nasty water out of the way. We don't want all of the sweet corn. We're just going to use about half of this. So we only want like 100 grams. This is 150 grams, and we just want 100. So what do you think that would be? It's going to be 2/3 is what it is. So we'll leave 1/3 of that in there. Like that, and then got our tuna. We can take all of this actually, In fact, you could put the tuna in first, mash it in a bowl, and then add the sweet corn. See, I'm doing it all wrong. Why listen to me? Right, in it is. Still a bit flaky, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be perfect. Right, and then you get your mayonnaise. And what, 2 tablespoons of mayonnaise. So quite generous, but not too much, because you know you don't want to be having more mayonnaise than tuna. Let me just give this a mix carefully, not to get it around, and it will slowly come together. You know what? I'm going to put a little bit more mayonnaise in. I don't know. No, you know what? It's okay with 2, but it's up to you. I know some people are big fans of mayonnaise, like my nephew, he can't have enough of it. Okay, so next we're going to chop the chives up. You could of course do this on a chopping board, but I've got a nifty little tool here. Actually, it's my mum's. Now you could do this with some scissors, some ordinary scissors, and just snip away a little at a time. You put a finger underneath to guide it, you can do that like that. I've got these really cool scissors. I'll see if I can find them and maybe put a link down below. These scissors, look at them. They've got multi-blade and they can do a bunch at a time. Go super speed. Brilliant. Right, we've got our chives. Okay, let's check on our beans and chili. Oh yeah, look at that. They're starting to boil already. Okay, I'm going to turn these off because it's really easy to overdo the beans and then they get all mushy. Leave that there. Let's have a look at our chili. Oh, it's bubbling. It's going a bit crazy. I need to turn that down. Give it a good stir. Let's leave the lid on that one and turn it right down low. Okay, the bell's just gone. Let's have a look at these potatoes. Now, be really careful when you open the oven because all the heat that's inside the oven is going to want to rush out. And if you're like this, then you risk burning yourself. So open it really carefully and slowly. Ooh, I feel that heat. They are looking good to me. They're definitely cooked. So let's take them. I'm going to use an oven glove for this. And one at a time. You can turn that off. Okay, now I've just put these on this plate to rest for 5 minutes, cool down a little bit so that they're just a bit easier to manage, and also we don't want anyone burning their mouth. So we're pretty much ready to dish up. We've got our beans, we've got the chili, we've got the tuna, we've got chives, sour cream and grated cheese. What do you want to have on yours? Oh, what am I going to have? Well, we could do one of each and then maybe even leave one that's plain. So I'll use a fork like this, pop it off like that. Okay, now hopefully these are cooled down enough so that I can touch them. Your hands, make sure your hands are clean. Yeah, just about. But I don't want to burn my fingers. I'm still going to use these tongs just to make it a bit easier. So what you want to do is grab a potato, pop it in the middle of the plate, use the tongs in one hand, put the knife in the other, and then you want to put a cross in the middle. Don't go too far down and don't go too close to the edges like that, okay? And then with clean fingers, push that up like that and it pops open. How about that? Cool, eh? Let's do that with the other ones. Okay guys, we're ready to dish up. My favorite part of the video. So we've got a chili. Let's do a chili on this one. Oh, look at that. Pile it high. And then we're going to put some sour cream on there. And a few chives. We didn't do chives last week, but it's nice. And there we go. Put some tuna on this one. Toppings. And beans on this one. Oh, do you like a bit of cheese on your beans? There we go. So why are we having baked potatoes? I'm sure some of you are asking on bonfire night. What's the deal? Well, would you believe it that back in the day what they would do, and some people probably still do it today, is they cook the potatoes in the embers of the fire. Yep, you probably want to wrap them tightly in some aluminium foil at first if you do that, and then be very careful when you put them in and take them out of the fire. Definitely need help with that one. Well, that's it, guys. So make sure to like and subscribe for next week, and maybe you want to save this one for later. You know, this baked potatoes aren't just for bonfire night, they're for any time. A really good family time together. All right, see you next week. Bye.